Nigeria's Supreme Court last week upheld a lower court ruling that stopped Shell from selling its assets in Nigeria until a dispute over a lower court decision to award a Niger Delta community $1.95 billion in compensation over the spill is resolved. Shell wants to sell its 30% stake in SPDC, which it also operates as the joint venture struggles with hundreds of spills that are caused mostly by theft. The company has faced a string of court cases in the past over oil spills. Shell, however, maintains its strategic intent to sell its SPDC stake while continuing to invest in offshore oil and gas as well as onshore gas production. Meanwhile, Huayu Cobalt says it cannot immediately commit to producing battery-grade lithium in Zimbabwe after the country's competition authority made that a condition of its takeover of a lithium mine. China's biggest cobalt refiner acquired the hard rock Arcadia lithium mine just outside the capital Harare for $422 million earlier this year and has announced plans to invest $300 million in its development. Huayu said battery-grade lithium production is not part of the project agreement, but it has had discussions with the competition authority and agreed to explore local production of lithium sulfate. The company says its venture in Zimbabwe was to build a concentrator plant to process ore, not a converter to produce battery-grade lithium. Nations across Africa are anxious to curb exports of unrefined minerals and move up the value chain by developing domestic processing, particularly as demand for batteries used in electric vehicles surges. But unreliable electricity and a lack of other inputs pose obstacles. Finally, Algerian oil and gas group Sonatrach has announced a significant gas condensate deposit in the Hassi R'Mel field in the Algerian Sahara. The reserves of this deposit are estimated at between 100 and 340 billion meters cubic of gas with condensate. Condensate gas is natural gas that contains liquid hydrocarbons in suspension similar to crude oil, which greatly increases its value. These volumes constitute one of the largest revaluations of reserves reported in the last 20 years. Sonatrach plans to start production in November from the field, which is expected to produce 10 million cubic meters per day. Algeria, whose proven natural gas reserves amount to nearly 2.4 trillion meters cubed, supplies about 11% of the gas consumed in Europe, compared to 47% for Russia. It is Africa's leading exporter of natural gas and the seventh largest in the world. Several countries seeking to reduce their dependence on Russian supplies since the invasion of Ukraine have turned to Algeria. Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.